Welcome back, everybody, to GDQ HOTFIX. We're here continuing through the rest of the day with the Sonic and the Shiny Things Marathon. So you won't want to go anywhere. We're going to be continuing probably close till midnight Eastern time. We've got a lot of really great games today. If you were here all day yesterday, you already know the high quality of obscure games and obscure categories that we've got. So make sure that you stick around. Before we jump into the run, I want to mention that Hotfix is funded in part thanks to your bits and subscriptions. These shows are only possible due to the support that you all provide, so please consider subscribing to support future broadcasts. And don't forget that if you have Amazon Prime, you can link your Twitch account to subscribe for free. And so with that, I'm going to throw it over to Argic with Segasonic the Hedgehog.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Sonic and the Shiny Things. My name is Argic, and today I'm going to be doing Segasonic the Hedgehog. Actually, let me check that's correct. No, Sonic the Hedgehog. Nah, actually, the script's all wrong. Sorry, guys, you haven't got Argic. This is my name's Hibnotic, and I am one of the two runners who runs Segasonic the Hedgehog, a arcade title. Originally published in 1993. As you heard earlier, the first appearances of Ray and Mighty, which we see a lot more often, which I think is great to see. So without further ado, I think we start the timer.
You count me in whenever, and I'll get it started.
All right. Okay. 3. We're going to go for Ray because that's important. Okay. All right. So 3, 2, 1. Let's go. All right. So we skip that tutorial level. Bearing in mind that most of this game will be cutscenes, I'm afraid. I've got a lot of time to chill and talk about the game. So much like the previous one, it's isometric, but the controls were never made for a PC, because that's currently how I'm emulating it. It was originally made for arcade with one button and a trackball. But we found that keyboard keys are actually quicker because you reach optimum speed quicker. So
have you ever had an opportunity?
That's where we find ourselves with that, and this is where I actually get to start playing the game.
Have you ever had an opportunity to play this on a trackball?
Sorry, my audio is a little bit loud down my end, so if Auth says anything, I might miss it. So this is our first section where we have to do a little bit of waiting. A little bit of waiting there. And there we go, we've done those cycles quite well. And then of course we've always got to have a bit of comic relief whilst we're here. So bridges breaking. I mean, you see that in Pixar movies. So I reckon it fits here because of the cute sprite work. I think this game is very pretty, especially for its age, for its time. So the reason that this slides into the Shiny Things is because there are 2 endings, and it's depending on what happens right at the end of the game. So we've got bad ending, which is not reaching the exit right at the end. And then there's the good ending. Of course, you do reach the exit. So currently, I'm not sure if I mentioned before, I am half of the player base of this game. And the current world record holder, S2, and I are competing to try and get a sub 12 time, which we think is very achievable. The keyboard controls on this game means that it's a little bit janky. I think more so than 3D Blast, because 3D Blast is a little more slidey. Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. Yeah, so the jank in this is sort of more smooth, but if we stay on this side, we can dodge all the daggers and jump over smoothly. There we go. And there we have Icy Isle, finished just like that. So if you've seen, I'm not sure I've taken damage yet, but every time we pick up rings, our health bar goes up. But when that goes down, we have to insert some virtual credits, so that we don't get ousted from the game. So in that respect, this game is quite straightforward. And I probably shouldn't say this as the runner, but I think it probably requires a little less skill. But I think each to their own. So we want to avoid those sand mounds, otherwise we'll get knocked back a little bit. We don't want to get caught in those either. So as you can see, when I'm trying to move diagonally, it doesn't quite do it perfectly in some angles. So I've got to make sure that I'm realigning myself appropriately. Then we're going to come up towards some caterpillars here. We managed to dodge them, which I'm going to be honest, we didn't dodge that though. So we're coming up to a section here which is has some quicksand. You'd think that we could get damaged by that great big thing that's flying around, but nah, it's transparent. We can go straight through it. Surprisingly, I think that's definitely one thing that surprised me when I started running the game. Some more quicksand, but we're quicker. We're quicker than the quicksand. And there we have Desert Dodge. There we go. I do remember the names of the runs. So Desert Dodge is completed, and there are some people who have braved it and tried to get 100% rings throughout the game, but personally, I think on PC it's pretty much impossible. But I will say that I haven't tried it, so I think that probably sort of discounts me from the gang, if that makes sense. But here we have Trap Tower, and after this little section of running away, we need to, well, hopefully get a good loop with these mashers, where we can just jump straight through or get squished. But sometimes the animations allow us to get through quicker. Like that, as instructed. That was quite good, but I think this is where we so we died, but we've got enough virtual credits, so we can just go straight on with that. And now up these ladders, which are deceiving. They have bombs on them, but we can just go straight past. Ray is a sprightly little flying squirrel, and then that is Trap Tower done. I'm quite impressed with how this run is going so far, in the context of a marathon. But like I said, there's a lot of cutscenes, so we have a lot of time to reflect and talk about the game. I believe this game was built on 32X based arcade gear, so there was talk of this being ported over to the Mega Collection and games and sort of compilations like that, but the controls were too hard to emulate, and I think my demonstration here will show that it's not made for four-way controls. It's definitely made for either specifically making it for an analog stick or for the traditional slider. So we take this route and then we go to the middle because we don't want to get caught out. And then up the slope we go, and now this is one of the boss battles. This is a very annoying boss because sometimes it only registers every other hit. So you'll see that sometimes I'm hitting it, but it's not doing its sort of hit animation. So this can be a run killer quite often. But I'm quite impressed with how that went, considering marathon context. Another cutscene, so I think we have time to talk about all of the other runners and runs coming up. My impression of Argic, I don't think was quite spot on, but he's going to be running the same game that we saw before this later on, which hashtag blame Amber, because I don't think he was originally planning on learning it, but it is what it is. I speak about cutscenes taking up a lot of time. Here is an auto-scroller where I am pressing the down and right key to just go straight through this level. We don't need to bother with any of the hazards. We're just going straight through. Nothing to worry about. It may look like we're about to get caught by the worms, but we can keep it chill. We're fine with it. And I believe if you actually push those turtles that are sort of going past the screen now, that's another way of getting rings. So it's yeah, a ring route for this game would be very, very advanced. And now there are quite a few hazards here, but we can avoid them. And now this is the infamous part of the game. This is the raft section, which on keyboard controls is horrible. As you can see, it doesn't look like I should be dying, but every time that I respawn, I've got to readjust my jumping. No, readjust by jumping, because if I start going one direction, I'll get spun in the opposite. And also that wall there is, yeah, there's collision there, so we've got to try and readjust appropriately and hope that the wall doesn't bounce us straight into the water. This is the part where I think zero skill is is relevant. So we've just got to sort of abuse the fact that we have virtual quarters. I don't know what the Japanese currency would have been for the game, but we are through wild waterways, and oh my gosh, whenever you get that out the way in a run, it's so good. It's so good just to, it's off your head. And you've only got Eggman's Tower, which I'm making it sound like it's more straightforward than Wild Waterways. It's just as punishing. Because if we think that this is a game that's supposed to be for an arcade machine, it's supposed to suck in those quarters, and I would be a lot poorer if I was using actual money. Now, I'd like to admit that I'm taking deliberate hits here. I'm not, because actually, whilst this stage is going on, can we get some bless RNGs in the chat? Because I mean, I'm joking, because I don't think that there is actually any element of RNG. This has the same patterns, but I think it's just a matter of time before me and S2 get to learning the patterns and fully optimizing the game, because I think there's still a lot more to learn. I think neither of us have been quite running it for a full year, so it's going to look a little bit clumsy at times. Our invincibility frames are not as existent as they seem to be. I hope my talking is diverting attention away from how well I am doing, because it's not great at the moment. Ooh. Right, let's keep going. So sometimes you can get caught out by these. I imagine a lot of people probably gave up when they get to that point of the game. And here we go. Here is the last bit. This is what defines a good or a bad ending. So as you can see, it says no continue in the bottom right. So there is no going back. You can't reset. We've just got to run straight to the end. So yeah, here we go. 20 seconds to get there. And basically, if I don't get there, then I'm a bit of a fraud, really, because this is the shiny things. This is the good endings. So if I'm not getting there, then I'll be disappointed. Shall I stop? Shall I go in? Yeah, go on then. And that is time. Sorry, I didn't really give any indication of it being time. There we go. Explosions all around. That was time. Now, I can barely hear a thing in honesty because I haven't turned my volume down for my game. So at this point, I'm just going to say thank you. I'm not sure whether anybody's saying anything over the top, so I'm just going to say thank you. Get the festivities out of the way. And yeah, if you fancy checking out this game, like I said, this is half of the player base right here. It'd be great to see some more people run it, because it's quite easy to pick up. The emulation, like I've mentioned, is a little bit dodgy, but yeah, it'd be great to see more people active, and you've got some good competition between me and S2 at the moment. But if we had another couple, that would encourage us quite a lot. So I apologise if I'm talking over anybody, but we get to see one last cutscene as the game goes off. Here it is. And he's out of there. That was Segasonic the Hedgehog. Thank you very much for watching, and keep washing your hands, folks. Stay inside.
All right, we'll be right back.